Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the SpeedGaming Live 2020 A Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. We are in Group D. We have a match between Teto and Waterleau. Teto is up 2-0 within the group, and Waterleau is looking to get a point on the board. My name is Professor Render, and joining me is Luxosaurus Rex. How are you doing today?
Doing pretty alright. Pretty excited for this match. It's going to be pretty interesting what Waterlow's strategy is going to be, concerning that he's a little bit behind in the group, so he's going to probably try to do something a bit more gambly and probably get himself a point here.
Yeah, this is Group D, and like I said, Waterleau is looking to get his name on the board.
Yep. Teto is gonna make it all to actually get a perfect record. Obviously, both runners are going to try their hardest. We'll see how it goes. How RNG will help into that.
We are running with the open boots settings, obviously, with the SpeedGaming Live rule set. So we will be having access to the entirety of Hyrule right out of the get-go without having to go into the castle and rescuing Zelda.
Yep, it's gonna be interesting who goes into the castle very fast, or if we're gonna get an 1 hour in castle.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of different openings that you'll be seeing, and you probably have seen a couple of openings in this very tournament alone, as we're a couple days into this tournament.
Yeah, and there is going to be a lot more matches going on in the future. Like, the whole week is filled with them. Just today there's going to be a lot of them going on. So
And we're off.
Oh, we're already off. Alright, so just Red Ruby and the starts and Piece of Art.
We have our map check. The only thing to note is that Hera is a pendant, and the rest is crystals.
Yep, Hera's blue pendant. They're not red crystals, so that's interesting. Going directly for the bunk rocks.
Yeah, typically when you start up and open a boot start seed, some runners like to go towards the bonk rocks to begin with after starting with Sanctuary. Other runners like to go just straight to the Uncle. Some other runners also like to go towards Sahasrala's hut right out of the gate. There's a lot of different ways you could start up an open boot seed, and our tier 1 pull is just hearts, and we have our first sword out of the secret well, and the Hoarder is giving out bombs, which is very nice because that will save Teto a lot of money and a lot of time trying to find bombs elsewhere.
Yeah, and he hasn't been getting really lucky in getting any money with any of those pulls so far, so that's really good for him. He's gonna be able to check all the stuff in Kikariko with 2 bombs. Well, most of it. Only one thing is going to be out, but there we go. Just enough.
And Waterloo, we're seeing that play for the castle right away, which makes a lot of sense considering that Waterloo does have the sword.
Yes, and he gets a key right there as the first thing.
So that would mean that you could actually go to the back of Escape right away, even though this is out of logic without a fire rod or a lamp.
Yep. On the back of Escape in the dark room. It's navigable, but it's not the best. And the bow right away. That pays off pretty well.
Yeah, so that does let us clear out one of our crystals, which is Eastern Palace.
Yep, and there's a lot of items going there, with Sashrella being 3 items in itself. And then in Eastern you get 3 items. So that could be a play.
And there's our flippers over on Tato's side within the Blind's hut.
Nice flippers. Not gonna see any fake flippers going on.
And we will have access to the entirety of the Zora area. Waterloo is going to take a Death Warp to head into Dark Cross. Obviously, this is out of logic.
Yep. It's all the logic, but it is doable. I'm pretty sure both of those runners are fully capable of doing the dark rooms. It's gonna net him 4 items if he gets through the whole thing, I believe. If he can find a bomb. Or no. I
He
think
would have the
with
boots.
boots.
There's
Yeah.
also there's
boots.
Arcana Samaria out of the well. Doesn't really do anything to start off with, but it will be valuable later on.
No hunt for the cane this time around. And a giant ripoff. 10 rupees per arrow.
Yeah, because I was going to say that you could actually go to the back of Escape with the boots in hand because they're, well, there's a hammer. And with those 3 bombs out of the Dark Cross, if this was not a boot start seed, this would have been this whole talk about bombs would have been a moot point. But considering that we do start with the boots right out of the gate, it doesn't really matter because you're able to bunk into the back of Escape.
Yep. And apparently Kakariko has a lot of stuff. The flippers, the cane, plus the hammer. It's a very good beginning there. And a sword.
So that's our second sword. We're actually getting a little bit closer to Aghanim access. We just need a lamp in order to bring that into logic.
Alright, Waterloo made it with only half a heart.
And there's our
gets the sank heart.
yeah, that's a nice little thing to have, even though it won't really do Waterloo any favors like the start through here because I was gonna save and quit anyway.
Yeah. The thing is, it didn't really pay off very much in the back of Escape, unfortunately. And Teto is gonna have an easier time to get through it when he gets the glove. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
So Teto is now gonna go through Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yep, gonna bomb those Moldorm. Getting some pretty good rupee drops. Not taking any of them.
And it doesn't. Well, you need Zora money anyway, and it's kind of out of the way, so most runners won't opt to go for those rupee drops. But there's really nothing of worth out of Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, I think all the luck was in Kakariko, unfortunately.
And Waterloo was confirming my suspicions. I did see at one point a blue rupee, but I couldn't confirm whether that was the case or not.
Yep. So we're not gonna see Aghanim unless it is required for Dark World access. And so far, it doesn't look like it's going to be. Just need a pair of gloves. And the Moon Pearl, obviously.
The Sunken Treasure only has 3 bombs, and I'm gonna look at the Watergate chest itself. There's 300 rupees, so we're actually getting closer to having Zora money. And the fact that Teto has the flippers, this will be in logic for him.
Yep.
Teto gonna go into the Desert of Mystery and gonna look at the Desert Ledge and also the Aegis Cave. And there's our first bottle hanging out on the Desert Ledge.
That would be interesting. Hopefully he gets the book, can get that bottle, check out Desert.
He could also access it through flute and mitts.
Yeah.
And a mirror.
Hopefully, they'll get another bottle beforehand, and that's our first fire source.
Yeah, that's actually our fire rod.
Yeah, that's gonna be pretty important. fire rod being needed for a lot of dungeons.
And this also would bring that sword into logic that was in the Dark Cross.
Yep.
No, I'm sorry, that was the
Oh,
boots,
it's
not the
right
boots, not the
here.
bombs. Bombs, sorry, not bombs. That was sword. I misspoken.
Oh, it's alright, it's alright. So we get the Master Sword for Teto, while Waterleau is going to be pretty happy seeing that Kakuriko has a lot of items. So they're both basically backtracking each other right now. We'll see when things diverge a bit more.
Yeah, because with this early game, considering Teto had already went to Mini Moldorm Cave first, and then went directly over to the Desert of Mystery, leading into the Fire Rod Onagina's Cave. Yes, the back of escape is in logic, but as we've seen from Waterloo, it didn't really yield anything of value.
It didn't, but it's still a lot of item that you have to check. Unfortunately, it is pretty rich in items. But there's also Sashwala's Cave with Eastern that is completable by Waterloo. I'm pretty sure that's where he's gonna head after he does Mini Moldorm Cave. And he's gonna get his Master Sword too.
So Waterloo will be a bit closer to. Will be a little bit closer to the Agadim play.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of items going on at the race. I didn't check it beforehand. It was just arrows, I believe. So far, none of the medallion has come out. So instead of having to do a pretty big damage boost.
So he's actually getting himself low enough so that he can take a death warp through the bombs.
Yep. But having so much more health, damage boost takes a little bit more time.
Yeah, but with the, considering too that we also have green mail, this actually isn't a bad idea. Like just have it, like being able to just quickly death warp like that, especially when you have. Okay, so there's our lamp and the cape. So there's pretty much every single piece that we would need for Agadim access.
Oh yeah. So far, if Eastern doesn't yield anything, this seed is really screaming Aga time.
We do also have the Zora area, and we also have, I believe, we didn't see Ice Rock Cave from Teto, and we have not seen the men underneath the bridge, nor Lake Hylia Island. And we know Lake Hylia Island's gonna be a little bit later
Island
on.
is not in logic though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like we won't be able to get Lake Hylia Island unless we have a mirror and a flippers, which we already have, obviously.
You just need some mirror. I'm a big fan of Aghaning on the pyramid having the moon pearl there. It's a really trolly thing to do.
So as Sabacha was pointing out, this with the lamp being available, this puts the entirety of Eastern Palace into logic. Now, logically, you could also get through this dungeon with the fire rod, as long as the big key is not vanilla.
Yep. And first item is red rupee. First item that I see. I don't think he got the big key yet. Might be mistaken though.
I'd have to double check because I didn't see the cannonball chest, but but we'll see Waterloo coming up over here towards the compass chest, and it is a compass.
Is this even randomized?
I mean, to be fair, this is just a compass chest. This is just a dungeon item, so I guess you could consider it somewhat randomized.
It looks like he didn't have the big key, so
Okay, so this means that the fire rod cannot logically be required for Eastern Palace, but considering that we do have our lamp, this really becomes a moot point.
and the fire rod being Ashralla's brother is pretty trolly for Waterloo, because it's not something he's gonna be thinking about going right away unless he gets kind of stumped with items. So if there's something important on the boss of Eastern, then things might go a bit haywire for him. Fire rod being required for swamp, not swamp, but Skullwood, and pretty good in a lot of effects.
So the big chest only has 50 rupees, but this will actually be good for Teto, as like I mentioned before, that we do have the 300 rupees that Teto had picked up over a while ago. He should be able to get Zora money right after this is clear as done.
Yep. Alright. So both our players pretty much doing the same checks, except Waterloo as Miss Agana's cave, I think. Sorry, I'm not very good with the names.
Agina's cave is over towards the desert, and
Yep.
Sashrala is in Sashrala's hut,
Yep.
over towards the east, in Eastern Palace.
Ooh, missing the quick kill there.
Yeah, didn't get lined up, had a bit of trouble there, but that's actually our Moon Pearl. So we're just... Ooh.
That's a bit sad.
But that is our first blood at just over the 15-minute mark.
Indeed. First crystal. Second crystal shouldn't be too far away, because the Moon Pearl opens nothing so far. But just need a pair of gloves, and there's still a lot of checks to do.
Now, if we kill Aghanim now, we can actually get over towards Hype Cave and head directly towards the southwest of the Dark World, but not like extremely southwest. We can get all the way up towards Stumpy and also to the Dig Game. And also the Pyramids.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's if you want to do Aghanim. And right now, there's still a lot of checks to be done by both runners. That they don't really want to go through the whole of Aghanim tower and everything.
Yeah, and I would imagine Waterloo would more be better off just going over to the Zora area now that he has Zora money.
Indeed. That would make him go further and further from the fire rod, and if he finds the gloves over at the Zora area, that might be pretty bad for the later checks.
Right.
As soon as everything opens up, you start thinking about Agana's cave and everything there. So we'll see if Skullwood is required though.
I mean, even then, you still would love to have the fire rod for things like having to light the torches, or also in cases where you need Ice Palace to get into there. What about Bombos?
Yeah. It's not required at those points. It might be required in Turtle Rock, but it's still nice to have, like you said.
Both Teto and Waterloo missing the quick kill, but Teto will get the Moon Pearl, and that will be his first crystal.
And we're gonna get a chance at the Ice Rod Cave. And it's another 300.
So this is also great. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying it is a lot of money in this seed so far.
Right, and this also it also makes it so that you don't have to worry about money ever again, which is good.
And he did the setup for water walking. Gonna see another 50. Oof, not the best.
So we'll see the man underneath the bridge for both players. Actually, Waterloo is actually doing this a bit quicker, considering that he did set up for the water walk.
And just shield, Fisher Price shield.
Okay, so that's our first shield of 3.
And next we're gonna go into the Zora area, and we're gonna see the cave, the fairy cave, and then the Zora itself. So I believe there's 4 items left there.
And yes, you are allowed to use, and as Eddie was pointing out, you can actually use the water walk with the flippers, but you gotta be careful too, because if you touch this shallow water, you get out of that water walk state.
As soon as your boots touch something solid, it's bad. Blue mail and red rupee. And Teto is gonna go to the ice rod cave.
So having blue mail is good. It's defense.
Another 300.
Yeah, number 300. So I don't think Waterloo would end up just grabbing that one too. If I want to be honest.
No, after you're done with all the buys, which is like I believe 600 rupees, 610, you're probably done.
Okay, so this is confirmed Aga. We have to go and kill Aga.
This is an Aga seed, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. The Zora only had 3 bombs, and we're forced to go and kill Aga. Now, considering Waterloo has yet to get the fire rod out of Agina's cave, he will be leaving that alone for quite a while. So this will give Teto a lot of time to possibly get another dungeon clear ahead of Waterloo. Maybe 2, depending on if Ice Palace is required or not.
Yep. And opening everything with Aga is gonna unfortunately make him not think about Agina's cave. And like you said, he's probably not gonna check it until very late in. But having a Master Sword and for this Aghanim's Tower makes it pretty easy, even having a hammer if needed.
So we will see convergence on both Waterloo and Teto. Waterloo is ahead in this case. Again, down with that fire. Just say down for the fire rod because Agina's cave, and that's gonna be way out of his way for now, considering the checks that he did.
Yep. The only thing is if Turtle Rock and Skullwood are the other 2 pendant, I believe the fire rod is not required. But
the fire rod is not considered a logical item that you need for for the Aga Tower, because there's not enough torch boxes to light every single light their way through. There's only a handful of torch boxes in that dungeon, so you need the lamp in order to get access to it, or at least logical access to Aga.
The Boulder Runners got their lamp from Sarsapalla's cave, so they're good with that. No, it's just a bit of clearing the tower. And then we'll get some more progression. Hopefully, you'll get a pair of gloves coming soon.
Okay, so
no medallion though. That's interesting.
Yeah, we have not seen any of our medallions yet, and we won't know what medallions are required until we get those mitts. Okay, so we're coming up to the Aga fight. So, Aga can fire between 0 and 15 blue balls, and it goes on a specific pattern. If you guys want to put your guesses in chat as to how many blue balls Aga will fire, go ahead. The order that Aga's attacks will go as it will be as follows. The first attack will always be a red ball regardless, like no matter what. The next 3 attacks will either be a red ball or a blue ball, the blue balls of which you cannot deflect. And the final attack after that is a lightning attack, and it will continue until you get 6 red balls into Aga.
So far, red ball for the random one.
There's
and
one.
a blue ball. So far, it's not a bad one. Hopefully, the next one is not going to be 3 blue balls. And both runners have the same agony RNG. So the amount of blue balls is gonna give Waterloo is the same amount of blue balls gonna give Teto.
Yes, unless either Waterloo or Teto dies, because that will cause the RNG to be different, and just 1 blue ball, which is really nice.
Yeah, in any percent that'd be amazing.
Metamap is the one who gets it correctly.
The fire rod is gonna be required because Coalwood is one of our crystal. The Thief Down is going to be one of our pendant, and I believe Palace of Darkness too.
By logic, so Green Pendant is on Thieves Town, and then Pendant Pod. So, okay, we're seeing Hype Cave coming out from Waterloo.
Cave of Hype. Is it gonna be Hype? It's a medallion.
We also have Skull Woods, not Skull Woods, Swamp Palace, and Turtle Rock as our 5/6s, and we get a Tempered Sword, which is good. I like that.
Yeah, I would call this the cave instead of the Hype Cave for the seed. Kinda It's alright, not great.
Well, the Tempered Sword is great, and with the fact that we also got Ether Medallion, that does actually help with our medallion situation.
Oh yeah, it helps with it, since both medallion dungeons are required. And just $5 from Stumpy.
That would be I think that was a red rupee.
Yeah, $5 red rupee. And we're gonna see the digging game next.
Blue rupees are usually like 5, and reds are 20s.
Oh yeah, my bad. It's a 20.
And there's our hook shot.
Hook shot. That unlocks the full top of the Dark World.
Yeah, that actually lets us go to Village of Outcasts, and that is of course one of our required pieces of logic. So logically, you need to get into Aga and then head over to the dig game to get the hook shot to head all the way over to Village of Outcasts for our next piece of progression. That or Skull Woods.
Yep, and Teto is gonna be able to go directly into Skullwoods. But they do have the flippers, so they could already go up there, I believe.
And the good news about that too is that it's also 7 digs for that hook shot, so it doesn't take too long for Teto to get it either.
Yep. And here we go, top side. Oof, that's a lot of bees. Don't open the bees.
So to answer a question in the chat as regards to when they spawn in the light world, is because they don't have a mirror. If they kill Aga and there's no mirror, they happen to spawn in the light world. I don't know the technical reasoning behind that. All I know is just that if you don't have a mirror, you end up in the light world instead of the dark world.
And we get a piece of heart on Bumper Cave. Not a piece of heart, a full heart. I'm not gonna take it. And now we're gonna go dip into Skullwood from Waterloo. Not having the Fire Rod is not gonna be able to finish it, but just a dip to check all the items is not that bad either.
And yeah, this is what we were talking about with the advantage that Teto has because of the fact that he went over to Agina's cave after doing Minimal Dam Cave first, then the dam, and then heading directly over to Desert to get the fire rod out of Agina's cave. Because of this, Teto was able to get a crystal ahead of Waterloo.
Yep. And here's the cane. Why you want the cane for Skullwood? Very useful. Just the map, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have the cane for this particular room. This room is probably one of the worst rooms in this game, is because of those Gyptos who will actually track your position and actually try to collide with you and take a lot of damage. And
Yeah.
because Waterloo does not have the fire rod, he's actually going to steal the key, while Teto is going to take that key and head directly over to the back of Skull Woods because of the aforementioned fire rod advantage.
Yep. And there's one chest plus the boss item, so we're gonna be able to see both of those. Oof, taking a lot of damage. He's gonna do a death warp, I believe. Or
Yeah, so this will be a death warp from Teto, and these will only take 1 heart of damage on blue mail. These Gyptos. And we did see a blue boomerang over on Waterloo's side, and that was in the pot prison.
so that was the first item or the second item?
Was our first item.
Oh no, he got hit, but that's okay, since you can just ride the side of those pitfalls without falling in them. Killing all the Gyptos here. Getting a lot of hearts drop. That's very nice.
So we're going to see Village of Outcasts from Waterloo. We'll possibly go into Green Pendant Thieves.
You can check the first 4 chests into Thieves Town pretty easily.
And you can make your decision whether or not you want to go into Desert or not, go back into Thieves Town. So we're going to see a Mafia fight from Teto. This is one of the more annoying fights because if you hit Mafia while she's up against these spikes, it will do no damage. But Waterloo making quick work of that, and there's the big key that Teto gets, and that will be Teto's second crystal.
Yep, second crystal. Now he has a decision to go check the big chest or not. And then I believe they don't have much else to check since they don't have gloves. It didn't open very much, to be quite honest. And we get the second chest, second shield.
That is our first item. There are a total of 4 items that you can get in Thieves Town.
I mean, you can still full clear Thieves Town, having the hammer and everything. But is it worth it?
It should definitely be worth it because it's the green pendant. You get another item out of this, which makes a total of 5. And there's actually the other boomerang in the big chest. So we'll get 2 boomerangs from. So we'll get the second boomerang from Teto, which will probably be. Teto does smirk at that because that is kind of funny just when you think about it. Just
Right
having both boomerangs next to each other.
Yeah, one of them could have been a Motula and the other one on the chest, but nope, they're right next to each other. So Waterloo is gonna do a full clear. Getting rid of Patrick the Star. And we're gonna see what Teto wants to do. Because they still need a paraglove from somewhere to be able to advance into anything, really. The whole of that mountain. Because as soon as they get the glove, the whole of that mountain opens up and everything else.
And actually, another piece of logic that we can actually get up the mountain too, and that actually is the flute, which Waterloo has just acquired.
Yep, that unlocks that mountain actually.
So
will we finish it though?
We will definitely be going up to the mountain pretty soon because at this point we're getting very linear.
Yeah, one thing opens up something else, you go there directly, follow the logic.
So this is something you don't normally see. What are those actually going to go and check the big chest first?
Well, you can't lift the thing on the ground.
Oh, yeah, because there's no glove. So you have to go to the right side first, and then get your glove. Because it's kind of weird considering that we have not seen a glove after 34 minutes into this race.
Oh yeah, and with the flute there, if Teto checks the 4 chests and he's like, "Yeah, I'm done with this place," then we might have something going on because Waterleau is gonna be missing the fire rod and Teto the flute. But it seems like he's going to actually go and grab it. So, blind fight. Always the same unless you die. And pretty easy to just know what's going on every time. One of the hardest fight when you play casually.
Yeah, considering that based on the movements that you do, it will always be the same fight regardless. And Waterloo, I believe, was off script, but still manages to knock it down regardless. And there's the glove.
And there's the glove, yep. So Thieves Town having a lot of good stuff. Thieves Town, even if it's a pendant, it's really quick, really nice to do, always worth it.
Not to mention too, it is also the green pendant. So that's our first piece of necessary. Yeah. Let me try again. This was actually the necessary way to get in to complete the seed. So again, very linear.
Yep, very linear. Now we're gonna see the whole of Oh, he's going back to Kakariko. He didn't get a bottle, did he? Oh no, he's activating his flute. Duh.
Yeah, flute activation from Waterloo.
That it was gonna be very close to him with that. Trying to open up the thing by grabbing it doesn't work.
So the funny thing about that is that considering that our first glove was on blind, you actually have to go logically. You have to go this way, and ooh, down goes Teto.
Down goes Teto, and is he gonna just get out?
He's getting out now. Ooh, this is interesting because
this is gonna break him in the butt.
Yeah, because yeah, we hit the flute, but we need that glove to complete the game.
Yeah, you need both gloves to complete the game. And when is he gonna go back into Thieves Town? It's almost done. Like, oof, that's a big win for Waterloo right there.
So now we're in a situation where both players are missing something that's required. Waterloo needs the fire rod out of Agina's cave, and Teto needs to kill Blind to get one of the gloves.
Yep. That's gonna be an interesting finish right there. And both of those items are in places you don't want to go, really. Like, But I think Waterloo has it over it, because Teto is never gonna think to go back into Thief's Dam, which is a pendant. But it being the green pendant might put some more incentive into going for it later. And Waterloo, when he goes to Desert, since it is technically a crystal, he's gonna be thinking about it at some point.
And so is Meyer. I would imagine he would get the fire out. Okay, that's really nice for Waterloo. Also, I think this is also good for Teto because that's actually the mids. And with this in mind, Teto might run back. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
Doesn't have. He can't get them. That's the thing. He can't get them. That item is locked to him. So the gloves are actually linear. In that
Oh,
you
that's
need
right.
to
Yeah, that's
line
right.
first.
I completely forgot about that because there's actually a block there. So that puts incentive on Teto getting the glove out of Thieves Town.
Yeah, it does because he's gonna get locked at some point. So that's technically good for him, but really good for Waterloo too, because he's gonna be able to clear everything. And the faster he clears everything, the faster he's gonna be into deserts and gonna think, oh, I should check Agnina's cave.
Also to note, we also got a single arrow.
Single arrow has been found. The city is blessed. A lot of money so far. Not a lot of stuff from the mountain. Was that all rupees?
It was a entirely rupee heavy Paradox Cave.
Yeah. But so far, other than the myths in the spike room, there's not really much. No book, no ice rod. The ice rod is another thing that the runners are gonna be looking for, and it can be anywhere. Oh, we're gonna see a pendant era. Oh, that's interesting.
This is a quick dungeon, so I can see why Waterloo is doing this. It's very quick. You don't take a lot of time in this dungeon, and also consider you can do Harapot to make the dungeon even a lot more quicker.
Yeah, but do you check the downstairs? That's the first item, so we know downstairs is not technically required.
It
'cause I
is
think-
because you need the big key logically to get over to well, you need to get the big chest, and that big key is there. Now you don't normally need to do this if you do Harapot, but that's something to consider too, because if you do end up Harapotting and you know that the big key is in the basement, then you need to because this is out of instinct, Waterloo, because Gravity trying to get the big chest, but obviously there's it's in the basement. So now, does Waterloo even try to go for it? I don't know. I think well, what do you think?
I mean, you kill Mordor at that point, and you figure out if it has the item, and then if Moldorm has the item, then you're golden. I don't think you go for the basement for one item.
If Moldorm doesn't have an item, then I would imagine I would totally go out of my way to get it. Okay, so we have an item on the big chest.
But since you don't have the ice rod, I think you have to go for everything. You can't skip anything. And we have Teto actually going into Hera too. He's gonna be doing the same thing. And Waterloo is not getting it. Not gonna go straight to the basement. We'll see if Teto goes to the basement. Because if it is the ice rod, then yeah, I don't feel good about Waterloo's position.
But this also brings up the point that we mentioned a lot already, which is Teto needs to head over back to Thieves Town because the mitts are locked behind the gloves.
But it gives him gives a lesser incentive for waterleau to grab the ice rod into the big chest, if it is that. So hopefully Teto will go there and see. That way we will know too. Come on, go back in. Oh, he's going back in. We're gonna see some basement action.
So Teto, knowing that there is an item on the big chest, he's gonna go back, and hopefully he does find his gloves that way. That's what he's thinking. Obviously, we know that the glove is going to be on blind, and that glove is locking the mitts.
Go kill blind, no matter what. But he's only probably gonna do that as a last resort because it's a dungeon he already cleared most of. He unfortunately died in it, so he's less incentive to actually go for it. And we have Turtle Rock is Eater. So that's very nice to know that probably they don't, hopefully they don't need more medallion because there's already a bunch of stuff they're missing.
Yes, and that means for Tito's, for Waterloo's case, again, the fire rod in Aegeus Cave. If both Meyer and Turtle Rock is Ether, then we're just an ice rod away from go mode. Also, we did get half magic in the bug net.
Yep, but I have to mention that Teto chasing that little Moldorm to get damaged by it was the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, again, these death orbs. Oh yeah, I forgot mirror. We need mirror for go mode. So just ice rod and mirror. I completely forgot mirror.
Mirror is required, and that's our first bottle actually.
This is our second bottle that we have access to.
They don't have access to the first bottle that we saw yet.
Well, yeah, but this is the second bottle that we know of.
Yep. So checking the bottle kit, and waterleau did the right thing, even though he doesn't know about it. And going to check Turtle Rock. I believe he needs a key right here, otherwise he's stuck.
If he gets a key here, he can continue up until he can continue, which he gets. He can get all the way over to the chain chomp room, and if he gets a key there, then he can access the back.
It's gonna be interesting to see what is there. Oh, how unfortunate.
Gets bodied by the Baris there.
Ooh, Teto is going into Palace of Darkness. That's not the right pendant you need to go into.
Now, I see the reasoning behind Tito's decision. It's 5 items. It's the next best item dense location that you have access to, but again, it all hinges on that thing where we mentioned that. Well, we have to go into Green Pen and Thieves Town again to get the gloves. Also, there's the big key, so we need that fire rod to get to the back.
Yep. So we're gonna see maybe Palace of Darkness as the mirror, as the ice rod, or another medallion that is required. But that's gonna be interesting to see.
Sick Kid only having 20 rupees.
Sick Kid is not the one to insert the prayers. Oh, he's going for it. No, don't go in.
Now, I guess the reasoning behind this is to also get the Meyer medallion, but it only gets over to Swamp. Okay, so that looks like it was a Quake medallion. So we need Quake, Mirror, and Ice Rod for go mode. I believe.
I believe so too. You might need, because of the location of those items, we might need the book, we might need the shovel, you might need a bunch of other things, but yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see where those last couple of items are. Teto is running out of places to go, so he's gonna be checking Thieves Town, Redo, Electric Boogaloo sometime soon, I hope. And nothing is giving incentive for waterleau to actually go into the desert. He needs to find himself some book or something.
Right, because that would actually let him do desert. Either the book mirror to get book or mirror. And because of this, we're going to do the Smith chain. Now, doing the Smith chain without the mirror is really, really bad. It's probably the I don't like this. I don't like doing the Smith chain with the mirror because it takes you have to save and quit like 2 times in order to get every single thing out of that Smith chain.
Yep. And I believe, yeah, he's gonna check King's Tomb.
King's Tomb is great. It's along your path, just a piece apart.
So far, nothing of value into Palace of Darkness. I believe Teto doesn't have very much left he can check after that. And there's mirror.
Okay, so
Palace of Darkness required. That opens up a lot for him too, I believe.
that only opens up the mirror checks of K45 and the Graveyard Ledge.
Doesn't it opens up Swamp though?
It does also open up Swamp, yes.
How much of Swamp can you do without the gloves?
You can do everything.
Everything without the gloves?
You don't need the gloves for it. You just need the mirror and the flippers, and also the hook shot to get to the back.
Alright, that's interesting, but it's a long way to go there. You need to take the long way in. That's the unfortunate thing. So let's see what Waterloo decides to do.
He's gonna do the other Smith chain.
The Smith chain, but after that. Interesting.
So we're going to see hammer pegs from Waterloo, and that will also be the purple chest.
So getting out of Palace of Darkness, I don't know if you got everything, or you can't finish fight. Get to the fight with the gloves, but Teto is running out of options, really.
Yeah, you need to head back over to back to Thieves Town, and with the fact that the mirror has been picked up from Teto, it's going directly over to Swamp Palace. And like we mentioned before, we can totally do this. Okay, so this is a pit stop over to K45, which is I'm okay with.
I was gonna say that's going the way to where he needs to go. Hopefully he goes up from here.
I think his mindset is to go in the swamp. He can't possibly. He's thinking that there's nothing left in Thieves Town for him to get. He left out of the flute. Sarsaparilla just only having a piece of heart, so nothing on Sarsaparilla.
So the green pendant has nothing so far. And now Waterloo is going to go into Palace of Darkness. That's gonna give him the mirror, which might give him an incentive to actually go get the fire rod.
Yeah, this will definitely lead him into going to the mire area, going to desert, and then also getting the fire rod.
Yep.
So
And
this
we
will actually
still
open
have
up.
the ice rod.
Sorry. Yeah, just roll it for ice rod for go mode.
Yep, the ice rod and quick medallion.
And Quake Medallion, yes.
And the ice rod can be anywhere. That's what's interesting. And quick medallion can be pretty much anywhere at this point. So that's gonna be an interesting find if they find it. Teto is gonna most likely be clearing full swamp because he won't want to let any items out since he doesn't have the gloves. And it's gonna be interesting to see because swamp is way nicer to do when you have go mode because you can just go right through it. So we'll see if swamp has the ice rod or not.
Yeah, because at this point, we're not only in an ice rod hunt, but we're also looking for Quake.
Yep.
And in Tato's case, is looking for gloves.
Oh yeah, he's looking for gloves. Not only does he have to get the gloves from Blind, but at that time, to get the mitts, he has to go to Spike Cave. So that's not very intuitive either. Like, nothing tells you, oh, I got the glove, let's go to Spike Cave now. So we got a very interesting race on our hands right here. I would say I'd give Waterloo, the advantage here.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge advantage in the favor of Waterloo. It's because of the fact that Teto has yet to go back into Thieves Town, and considering that with Waterloo had went over to Spike Cave first, which is obviously necessary, which is very much necessary, because the Mets lock is glove locked. Then and Teto, because of the depth that he took upon approaching the big chest in Thieves Town, opted to save and quit. And that's where we led into this position where Waterloo is in a really good spot.
Yep, he's gonna get his mirror from Pod. That's gonna give him an incentive to go on do desert since it is a crystal. And after desert, he might be more incentivized to get to Agina's cave where the fire rod resides. And we got the butters.
Yep, we have our final sword at the ready, so this will tear through a lot of our bosses very quickly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna make the game very easy. So far Teto is gonna probably come back in to do left side of swamp after he kills the boss.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Teto will definitely be going over there because still looking for the gloves.
And since the boss key was pretty easy to find location and pretty early, that means that go mode swamp is going to be very quick. If Waterloo gets there at that point.
Oh,
Ooh, not getting the bomb jump, unfortunately.
nope. Was trying to set up for the hammer yamp, but got pushed a bit up. It wasn't in the correct position. This is a double pixel perfect bomb jump that you have to pull off, and gets a second try though.
And gets $5 for it. That was the right $5.
Yeah, this is the right $5. Yeah, because the hammer jump requires you to line up one specific Y position to place the bomb, and then you have to do another pixel perfect Y position in order to set yourself up to jump over do a bomb jump onto the railing that you can climb up to.
Yep. And we're gonna see the left side of swamp from Teto. Hopefully it has something good in there for him. He really needs it. And we're gonna get The mirror. I wonder
Waterloo
if
isn't
it's
happy
gonna-
about it because considering he could have done the he could have done the Smith chain with that mirror, but opted not to do it. So that's it for Waterloo. And actually, I believe that was our last item that Waterloo picked up because that Helmet Star would have only been a dungeon item.
Interesting.
Waterloo.
But it's still a pendant.
Yeah, it's a pendant. So, and even then, 'cause that's exactly why you would dip out. If you got every single item and you know that there's nothing on the boss, then you could just mirror out or just take a death orb out.
I know, but the more we're looking at this, the less item there's going to be in the seed, and we still need both the Quake Medallion and the Ice Rod, which both can be on the pedestal at some point. You're already in the dungeon. You might be thinking, if it is pedestal at any point in time, then maybe it would be a good idea to actually go kill the boss.
There's our Book of Madura out in Left Side Swamp.
Very nice. So we know that the book is there, so that's gonna give us all the two tombstones and entry into desert for Teto since he doesn't have mitts.
Yeah, this will be so Teto will be able to go directly over to the Bombos tablet, and can also get the Ether tablet, read the pedestal, and also have access into desert. But like you mentioned, no glove, because this has been the most talked about point in this particular race. Teto skipping out on those gloves within Thieves Town.
Yeah, and he's following every single little lead he gets from the seed. So he's very trusting in the seeds, and the seed is totally trolling him very badly.
Wait, when did we get the Ice Rod? There's chat saying that we got the Ice Rod.
Oh, it's in Swamp?
It looked like it was in Swamp because it
Huh.
It was on Argus. Okay, so Argus had the Ice Rod. I did not see that at all.
Yeah, me neither. I think he was doing the bomb jump at that point, and it was like focusing on seeing if he's gonna get it. So we're just missing Quake.
Yeah, this is just quick go mode.
Go mode. Huh. So that's gonna be pretty interesting how fast it goes. And if Quake is on the pedestal. Big key is vanilla position in desert, and Waterleau is gonna do a regular. Is he trying to?
He's doing the diver down,
Yeah.
just so he can get the left side swamp quicker.
Yep. Interesting that he's doing the left side right now.
With the icebreaker or not icebreaker, with the diver down, this makes going to left side swamp a lot more easier to do, and it makes going to left side swamp a lot quicker too, because you can actually. What Waterloo did was he flooded the key and then placed a bomb on the switch, and then as the bomb was exploding, he transitioned to the next screen down, and ended up getting and. By doing either bomb setups or the Samaria setup, if he jumps into the water and then it goes up, the switch will hit again, because technically speaking, the bomb still hit the switch, even though the switch is not there when you move into the next room. And then because of the fact that it's still the switch is like, I still got hit by the bomb, I will open up the gates here, the pegs, and let you go to left side of swamp a lot quicker.
Yep. And pretty interesting that Teto is not going into Ice Palace right now. Because Ice Palace has been open to him for quite a bit, actually. and he's totally not going in there.
For waterleau,
Oh no, he doesn't have the gloves. You need the mitts.
yes, because waterleau can go into ice, but Teto can't. Because we're back to that talking point again. The glove, the skipped gloves on blind because of the death that he took.
But I believe he's going towards there right now. Or he's gonna go towards there at some point soon.
Going into King's Tomb, then go into Graveyard Ledge.
And then Village of Outcasts is not that far away. And since he can't really get to Village of Outcasts any other way, then it might make sense to actually go there with this routing. Because you need the gloves to open up the portal above the village.
The mitts rather. Like, either the mitts for if you would take it the quicker way, or if you get the glove, it's the loop through Lost Woods.
Yeah. Well, you don't need the mitts, you just need the hammer and the gloves, otherwise you need the mitts.
That's yeah.
So hopefully he goes in there right now, and yep, that was the ice rod. Looks like he's going there.
He's going to head back and do Figure Sound. So this will be great for Teto.
And he's gonna hit himself in the head so much.
But this should actually swing Teto back into a favorable position. If he goes over to Spike Cave next, this will put him back in that favorable position. Otherwise, I'm still putting Waterloo in the advantage.
I'm still pointing him in the advantage. Oh no, he's floating away. No. Oh, okay.
He's going over to Meyer, and also Desert.
Yeah, he's going the Meyer way, which you can technically check a checkered cave and just go down. Oh. Hopefully he goes to Agina's cave, because if he does the whole of desert without checking Agina's cave, it's not gonna be good.
He's going to be close by to Agina's cave, so I'm definitely seeing Waterloo going to grab the fire rod at this point.
Yeah. So desert as bombs is the first item. I didn't catch it when Teto went in. I know that the big key is in the big key chests. So basically, it's all hinging on where Quake is at the moment. That's gonna be the biggest point, and I believe the snakes as the item. So we're gonna see what the snake has.
Yeah, the Lamb Molus will be the next boss kill for Waterloo. So this will now Tito's blunder is now going to come to a head here as Teto is going to fight blind.
Yep, we're gonna see what the Lamolas as. I prefer calling them the snakes. It's way cuter.
I mean, Lamos are technically snakes. I mean, that's you're not wrong.
Worms, but snakes.
Worms, it's like sandworms, snakes. I don't know. And
it all works out in the end.
Okay, so that's the glove for Teto. And at this point, Teto is thinking, I am so behind. I think I may have lost this one.
I'm doomed. This is bad.
So, at this point, you're going to... Okay, so it looks like we're going to get a head check from Teto. This is okay. I'm fine with this. I'm okay with this.
This is the brain mode right there from Teto.
I'm okay with this.
Totally digging that.
Because I feel like if in Tito's situation, he's gotta pull out something. He's gotta pull a miracle at this point. He knows that Desert Pod is all full clear, all but just tracks down.
Oh no!
It's just a rupee stash. So
no,
Pet's dead.
The dream.
So Pet's dead. So Teto now has to. So he's gonna kill Lambo. I didn't see what Lambo was. I know that Desert Palace got a crest. He get killed. Lambola. Sorry, jeez. Looks like there wasn't anything to Wharf though. Checkerboard Cave from Waterloo, just a heart piece. So now we're going to get the fire rod from Waterloo.
Yes.
And now Waterloo maybe just after Waterloo gets it, he might be thinking he's behind as well. Both players feel like they're behind because they made, especially for Waterloo's case, where Agina is a sphere 1 check, and is the fire rod, and he's just shaking his head. It's like,
oh
yeah,
god,
why?
That's the only thing I need. And now he's gonna most likely go to Turtle Rock, Ice Palace, clear a bunch of crystals, and then he's gonna be looking for that elusive quake. Oh, he's not. He's gonna finish Spoolwood actually. Interesting.
And I'm fine with this one because it's a clear that you can get out of the way like really quickly, and on top of that, with the gold sword, which it should show up on his tracker, this will be fine. It'll be a cakewalk. Although to be fair, the in the vanilla game you can't use the gold sword because it won't do any damage to Mafia. It's kind of the same way how the spikes work in the Mafia fight, but in the randomizer they made it so that it does tempered sword damage instead of gold sword damage. So won't be too long until Waterloo takes down that, and we'll also get the pet check. So saying okay, so it's just a rupee stash. Nothing to worry about.
It's quite unfortunate, I feel. You can see that Teto is just like, shaking his head too, and being like, oh, I'm so behind, where are those mitts now? And he still is halfway through the blunder of going out of Thieves Town. Now he needs to think Spike Room. And he's on the mountain. And he's going up the mountain, so...
This will lead to Spike Cave.
Yeah, he's going to Spike Cave.
At this point, now both runners are going to look for the Quake. So it's now really hard to tell whether or not... it's hard to tell whether or not... whether or not both players are going to be able to make the right call or not. And I don't know where this is going. There's the Bombus medallion.
Boast? That's the wrong medallion.
Yeah, it is a medallion, but it's not the right one. And now Teto is going to go over to Spike Cave.
There we go. So both our runners are actually in the right zone right now.
And Teto is going to realize his mistake in 3, 2, 1.
Boom. Either realize his mistake and be like, oh, that's good, that's an art check. It's really good for me. And both our runners basically having the same amount of items required. And basically the same amount of crystal right now. They both have 4 crystals. So, Ice Palace, check. Waterleau is gonna get his red boomerang.
So this is Ice Palace for Teto, and this is now going to be the big make or break part of the run. Both are going into Ice Palace actually.
Yep, it's gonna be who gets the Quake first at this point, and then it's all up to movement itself. That's the big key right away. Because Ice Palace is one of those dungeons too where if you have the go mode, it's very quick to finish it.
Yeah, because of the icebreaker trick that it's mostly a glitch now. Icebreaker glitch that a lot of that was. It's already been like several months since icebreaker was first allowed by the Racing Council. This actually uses something called door state extension, where you actually are, as the name implies, extending your door state. Because if you're in a door, you're only allowed to move in a certain positions based on where the door is, and by just doing some stuff with the Samaria, you end up extending that door state. For me, it's kind of complicated to explain in on a commentary level.
Yeah, it looks like a very specific trick. As we are gonna see Waterloo doing it right now.
A lot quicker too.
Himself directly towards zipping himself into the other way.
And it's a lot quicker too, because Waterloo did some sword buffer strats, which is the method I like to use.
And he isn't checking the big chest. Teto. So he found both items in Ice Palace, I believe, or
there's 3 items in Ice Palace.
Or he's just gonna go for the kill right away and try his best at finding the Quake somewhere else, like Turtle Rock.
So Teto, without the luxury of half magic, is going to use the bombas instead. And we also got our red mail as our second item.
And the compass.
So that's another crystal clear for Teto, which is going to be the 5th one.
Yep, 5 crystals. He's missing the Misermire and Turtle Rock so far. And that's the last item is heart container. So I believe Waterloo has been counting, or if he's not missing any items, he's gonna go directly kill the boss and be done with it. Oh, Teto is going to go into the Mare area. It's one thing he didn't finish, because he couldn't really get access to it.
Nope, just still needs to go to Quick. Still needs to get the Quick medallion. So I guess the reason behind Teto not going to not doing all those checks was because he was go mode in the dungeon, and because of that, Waterloo. Remember this, Waterloo got the mitts really early on when Teto took that death in Thieves Town and left. He's thinking that at that point he thought he was in go mode as soon as he got the mitts and he got the ice rod. So he ended up go moding the dungeon, even though because under the assumption that Quake is that either bombos or ether is required for the sea, like for Maya, which isn't.
Yep. Now he knows that he's missing Quake, and he has the other medallion for Turtle Rock, Although he doesn't know that it's not Quake, but he's gonna be pretty happy to see that it is not and that he can clear Turtle Rock right now. And both the runners going to Turtle Rock. It's gonna be a pretty close race.
Yeah, and also one thing too, Waterloo actually left out an item. So both players are leaving out items.
Yep, and the last item is one of the most elusive one too, so it's gonna be interesting. Teto missing the little clip into the rocks, has to go upstairs. Gonna cost him a little bit of time.
Yeah, the hookshot clip is kind of tricky. If you miss it, then you have to like either reset the room, like you either just go up the stairs and then go down the stairs to get over to the other side, or you just drop down. I think going down the stairs, I don't know, I haven't timed those, so I don't know which is quicker.
Yeah, and all those checks that Waterloo made up the Dark Mountain, and Teto is gonna have to do himself, so that's gonna be time on Waterloo's side, which is in Turtle Rock right now, clearing it as we speak.
So Teto is going to get the half magic and a bug net again, just a bit later than a lot later than Waterloo because of the missing mitts.
Yep. So he's ready to fight again him with the bug net.
If you really want to go for a bug net strats on Aghanim, but at that point you don't really need the war. You don't like. You just go for swords and anything. Just
Bug net. You go with the swag strat. So he's gonna be entering Turtle Rock. Waterloo actually did a little bit of clearing in Turtle Rock before, so he's a little bit ahead in that point. So if Quake is on the way, like quotation on the way, Waterloo is definitely ahead. But we'll see. It can be basically anywhere that is not Mr. Meyer.
so. At this point in the race, we're actually close again. We're now close again. We are definitely close by. Both players are in Turtle Rock, and they're gonna be going over to Turtle Rock after this, or going over to Meyer if they get the Quake, and it will be a race. Now, if the Quake medallion does not show up here, which at this point, it's either gonna be here, Mimic Cave, or
I'm calling it Trinite.
Pyramid Fairy, yeah, Pyramid Fairy, or Catfish too. Then it might turn into something kind of weird. But both players are going to do. Both players are in Turtle Rock. It's the next item dense location you can do.
Yep. So I'm calling it. Quake is gonna be in Triad.
Mimic Cave, just 10 arrows.
Yep. That's not gonna be the one. Doesn't count for the item count inside of Turtle Rock. I believe there's 5 items in there.
In Turtle Rock, yes.
So Meyer is the other crystal that they are acquiring. So what else do they have? If Quake is not there, what isn't checked for Waterloo? He didn't check Era Basement. So that might be an incentive for him to check it. We both know it's not there because Teto got it. So that's gonna be an interesting little thing right there.
One thing also for Waterloo is he has Catfish. He has the one item that he left in Ice Palace, and then he also has Pyramid Fairy.
Yep. Pyramid Fairy. Yeah, because Turtle Rock does unlock Pyramid Fairy. But yeah, Catfish. Catfish could be one of the best way to troll them at this point. And so far this seed has been only troll things. Has been anything but not trolly.
Yeah, it hasn't been a good seed for both players, and it really hurts. And there it is on Laser Bridge. That's go mode for Waterloo at 123.25.
Yep, that's gonna be go mode for both players, I believe, because I doubt Teto is gonna skip that.
No.
No.
But I'm gonna still put Waterloo in the advantage because his execution has been on point.
Yep.
In this in Turtle Rock, so he's got a bit of a lead here.
Oh yeah, he's got a good minute and a half lead, and they all the only thing is there's no silver. That's basically the only thing that could change anything at some point.
But considering that both players do have a gold sword, regardless if we find silvers, it will only speed up the fights. Silvers will speed up the Ganon fights, but as far as the up until phase 4, it will be pretty much the same.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty close to silvers. So Waterloo is like he's gonna go into Mr. Meyer. Depends where the big key is in there. That could be a decent factor too. And Teto's hard count is getting pretty low actually. Hopefully, hopefully he doesn't die before he gets to the end of the dungeon.
Right. We're now off to Meyer.
So
Meyer correcting me in this case, and it doesn't really speed up phase 4 at all. And even with the silvers, like it won't really do anything. It won't speed up anything.
Really?
No. If Waterloo got the silvers, it wouldn't really matter.
Oh, okay. That's good to know. So the butter sword is just as good as the silver arrows. So, depending on where the big key is, Teto can make up some time if Waterloo decides to not check cutscene area if the big key is there. Because at that point, Teto has to be thinking, I'm behind, I need to actually do some gambly stuff. I need to check some weird stuff. And there's the Ganon Tower big key too, that can be a big changer.
I still would put Waterloo in control. He's already ahead. He's already way ahead of Teto. I mean, it's not a huge lead where he misses an item, but in the sense, but he still is a couple minutes ahead of Teto.
Yep, and there's the big key for Waterloo. That's not a very big trolley location, so he should be fine.
Yeah, that's a Godmire spot.
Yep. So Teto is probably gonna have the same routing, unless he thinks that he's behind and needs to do gambly stuff. But I don't think he will.
No, there's nothing. There's no need to gamble anymore. He's in go. Both players are in go mode, so they're just gonna clear out Meyer. And with the fact that it's also a Godmire, this will make the fight even more quicker. Going to switch to the Fire Rod in this next room to do some spooky action. This is a trick where it has to do with the duck's arc variable and some weird way that how you set it up. It's very very technical that I can't possibly like talk about. It is so complicated, and it's how so everything works. All you gotta know is that the fire rod splash damage is affected by this, and it causes the switch to get hit.
Yeah, it's
Like,
magic.
Walls off screen.
Ain't got to explain anything.
Ancilla variable. I am not good at this.
It's just magic stuff. It's a rod that shoots fire. Of course it can do stuff out of our understanding. So Waterloo is finished with Meyer. Now he has to go back up the mountain, go into Ganon's Tower, and we're gonna have ourselves a little game called Where's the Key?
Yep, Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game is coming up now. There are 22 possible item locations where that big key could yield. One of them will have that big key, so from 1 to 22, get your guesses in the chat where you think the big key might end up being, and all guesses will close as soon as Waterloo ends up in TR.
Yep. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be 17. I'm gonna see what route Waterloo is going, left, right. And this has been a really interesting race so far. Alright, so Waterloo is about to get up to TR. The guesses are gonna be off. What did you guess for, Professor Renderer?
I'm just gonna say 13.
13. You're nicer than me.
Alright. Teto will also be now in Ganon's Tower. I don't think the big key place.
Sorry, you're cutting out a bit. Big key placement is gonna have any bad meaning on that. Hello, Professor. Did I lose you? And the first two chests yields a bottle and a small key. We're gonna see next.
I don't know why my internet is
Oh,
locked out.
problems. You're still cutting out just a bit. Quite unfortunate, just at the end of it. Alright, that was chest number 3, I believe. Or there was none. Ooh, there's the silver. There's the big key. Hey, that's a very early big key. That's pretty nice. It's gonna steal a little key before he goes in. Alright, so that leaves at 3140. Waterloo enters the middle section of the tower. So we'll see how far ahead he is.
He did not see what the big key was. 5 was the key?
It was in the 4 chest. It was right next to the silver arrows.
Was?
That's really
Okay. So it was RBT May 710 who got number 5.
Yep.
With also Steel G 101, Monk Magnus, and Crazy Irish who also got the big key and also 5 bonus points.
Nice.
Unless unless someone said the big key was like, I was mistaken. Oh, it was 4?
It was 4.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Oh.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Everything's alright.
Someone said it was 5, and I thought it was 5. And my screen was like frozen, so I couldn't tell what it was.
It's good to have you back though. So Teto unfortunately went the wrong way, and he's gonna lose a bit more time there. Gonna be heading to it right now. Number 4. He's gonna be getting his silver too, so that's gonna probably speed up a couple of the mini boss refights. Having a little problem grabbing the right item. And there we go. And ta-da! So Waterloo has around 2 minutes 15 seconds ahead. So it's gonna take something pretty bad happening to Waterloo for Teto to get back from that. But we never know. It's anything can happen in this game. It's like any other game. I think we have lost Professor once again.
I'm here. I'm just disappointed in myself.
It's your internet, buddy. Nothing to
Yeah,
do.
and whatever. We're on Moldrum 2.
Yep, Moldrum 2.
And
Golden Sword.
we don't really need to do we don't need to check anything out of Moldrum 2. Yeah, and for obvious reasons, we're gonna leave that alone. We have Gold Sword, we have a Red Meal, we have Half Magic, we have Silver Arrows. This is all it's all good. It's all good.
Everything's perfect. And we're gonna go into Aghanim number 2. Let's see how many blue balls he shoots. One of his 2 other clone. Oh, he's just getting hit quite a bit. His health is getting pretty low there. And that's 1 blue ball. Oh, he has a red potion. That's pretty good actually. And that's right, he did pick up the red potion from Desert. And we're gonna start the Ganon fight momentarily with both the silver and the golden sword. It shouldn't be too hard.
No. It's okay. We're all good.
Everything is good. No quote from Ganon himself. Gonna hit him by charging into him. That's a teleport. That's that is not optimal.
sort of-
Sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of teleports to start for the start of phase 3. And once we get some silvers into Ganon, we'll be taking care of this fight, no problem. Okay, just in the nick of time too. Has Torch Glitch enabled. It's nice to have for a silverless fight, but not necessarily required. But that will do it for Waterloo. Get your GGs in the chat for Waterloo. He actually will be getting his name on the board.
Yep, that's his first win. That is a really good one to get to. So congratulations to Waterloo. And let me just... Yeah. And we have Teto, that's not very far behind either. Do you... Alright. So Teto is gonna be finishing shortly too. It's gonna be an easy Ganon fight.
So this will... Okay, so this will now put Waterloo at 2-1, and Teto at 2 and
No, but
other way around. Sorry,
yes.
It's been a long day. It'll be now 1-2, and Teto will be in 2-1.
Indeed. And I do believe that Waterloo has one other match against Floppy Bacon to be done, and Teto has one other match against Moogle Charm. So technically it leaves a chance for Waterloo to still make it in to the rank number 2. I think so. Depending on what happens in the other ones.
Phase 4 starts up for Teto. Alright, also getting Torch Glitch. Again, nice to have in solo first flight, but not necessarily needed. But that'll do it. GG's in the chat for Teto.
GG!
So we're gonna have a quick commercial break. We'll be back with an interview with the runners soon, and then and we'll get to the next. After the interviews are done, we'll get to the next thing in our lineup for SpeedGaming Live.
Yep. Let's see. Actually, I'm gonna do a little bit of research on that. All right, welcome back from that little commercial break. We're gonna have an interview with Waterloo. Hello there, Waterloo.
Hello, GG.
GG indeed. That was a really nice win. I have a couple of questions. When you saw the fire rod, we saw a little bit of you shaking your head. What went through your mind at that point?
No, it was trolled, but it saved me time, I think, because if I found Fire Rod first, I would skip that mirror for ages. Maybe going to TR without Ice Rod. So, yes, I shake my head, but I was happy that I went to Pod before checking Agina.
Okay. As you don't know, Teto had a little bit of problem because this seed had a lot of pendant dungeon yielding very important item. One to mention, um, Thieves Town. Thieves Town had the gloves, and you know that the myths were actually blocked by the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So Teto actually died in Thieves Town, unfortunately, and decided to not go back in to kill um, the boss for a while.
Yes,
So
we
that
were
was a little
talking
bit
about
trolly for
that.
him.
We were talking about that in the chat after the race, and I can understand, but it was green pendant, and with that flute, pedestal was fully open. So I think if I died in Thieves Town, I would go back to the boss for green pendant and pedestal later in the seed. But yes, I can understand that he didn't do it. When I saw that glove, I was okay. That's troll, but you can't like quit Thieves Town after flute. But yes, the best for me, I think, was it's the first time I decide to check Spy Cave before this mountain because I didn't have the mirror, and I said, okay, maybe the best is to do that, and if meats are there, it would be a nice routing to have meats now. And when I found it, I was, whoa, that's so nice.
Yeah, you were looking for the myths in Spike Cave, and you bet on the money, and the money gave away. So all of these items in Pendant Dungeons was pretty interesting because Palace of Darkness had the mirror, Thief Town having both the flute
I
and
was
the
upset
glove.
about that meal. I was upset because uh, that was my last location. I think I had catfish left, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know. The last seed I lost because everything was in pod. In that seed, I said, okay, yes, I will do the south, and if I don't find anything, I will go to pod. Okay, there is the hook shot. Meats, okay, so there is nothing in pod, or maybe for the pedestal. And that meant I was, whoa, maybe now I'm behind. And I think if Tito didn't die in Thieves Town, I would probably lose this one. So I was scared. Until the dot down, I was scared.
Yeah, I could totally get that. But other than that, your routing was pretty well. Tito was following the logic, like with a straight arrow once he died from Thieves Town. He was getting little leads here and there and following through them, and you were just checking everything. So that was interesting, and the fact that it was an Aghanim seed too was pretty interesting.
Yes, I was close to go to Aghanim before South Shore, and I said, no, if I skip an ice road, it's not so good. I will do it
Yeah.
anyway at a moment in a seed, so I will do it now. But I was sure after that moon pearl that it wasn't Agassi.
Yep. Not having the gloves, actually everything relying on going into Thieves Town to get a lot of items there. Hello, Tito.
Yeah, hey guys, GG Waterloo.
GG.
GG indeed. Teto, what was your thinking when you killed blind and got the gloves?
I mean, before even that, it was like you are in Thieves Town, you get the flute, you unluckily die at the later part of this, and it's a split decision if you say, okay, I'm out of here, or I'm going back in for the last 2+ green pendant items. And I just went like, okay, let's go for the long chain and maybe pedestal, but we will see later. And yeah, after coming back half an hour or so, it was like, yeah, this with the gloves is going to be really tough right now. Maybe lucky mids early after the spike, but you normally know you are behind a few minutes.
Yeah, we were all talking about the lack of gloves and arrow. It was probably very hard for you to actually go back into Thieves Town because at that point, like you had a lot of checks, but the gloves and the mitts were glove locked on top of that, so you couldn't get a pair of gloves just randomly.
Yeah, that was other thinking about this. Maybe the other gloves, you are way faster back in Thieves Town and you don't lose that much time. But yeah, after you press save and press save and quit, you are like, oh, I don't think this is the right decision. And yeah, it wasn't.
But you did finish with a decent time on top of that, because right after you got the glove, it didn't take you long to realize that Spike Cave was an actual good idea, because you still had a lot of little checks to do with the gloves. But
Yeah, and I
what
normally
brought you
skip.
to Spike Cave?
Yeah. I normally skip left side swamp, and after going back in because nothing really paid out at this point, I had to do this for 2 items. You getting the book gives you nothing back. You know that you maybe could have mirrored into Desert Palace. It's all a time waste at this point. So you're going for the 1 item on the boss after this, and maybe for the last check on Death Mountain after on the tablet, and with the tablet check you're back in Spy Cave. And after this I would have gone to Catfish, and then I think it was Palace of Darkness as the last check at this point. So
Yeah.
nearly last locationing it at always, yeah.
Yep, and we saw you actually go for pedestal check. Both of you went for the pedestal check, thinking, yeah, I'm getting trolled. This seed was really trolly in some kind of way, but once you actually went out of your way to not kill blind and skip the gloves, the seed kept giving you little crumbs of lead to where to go next, and you kept following them one by one. And I was really worried because all those little crumbs were getting you farther and farther away from actually going back into Thieves Town.
Yeah,
That was a really interesting race because Waterloo actually skipped the fire rod for most of the seed, and you skipped the glove. So it was really entertaining.
Yeah, it paid out in the front of the seat, and afterwards you have another decision, and it isn't the right one. I maybe won the last 2 races with a little bit more luck on my side, and this time I didn't do the right thing at the right time, and yeah, this is Vendo, and it evened out. I just set for the Waterloo. It evens out. That's luck that over a long time, and I'm not really sad about it. I was going for maybe the book, maybe this, or come on, not Thieves Town, and yeah, it was a great
Yeah.
race. I think it was entertaining.
I
Oh,
hope not
it
to.
was a really great race.
I hope not to be at 0-3, to be honest. So I saw Bonta with 1-3, and we know how Bonta is good. And he told me in private message, okay, every time 3 pendant dungeon, and I got the wrong one last, and I was at 0-2. And yes, will I be out of the tournament after 3 games? But I'm not. I can still hope for 2-2 tiebreaker. So yes, I trust in it a lot.
All right. Well, thank you both runners for this amazing race. That was extremely entertaining. And with that, I will check out what is going to be next on the Speed Gaming. It's going to be there's another race of A Link to the Past randomizers coming up on Speed Gaming 2 later today in about 2 hours. And there's gonna be right now SMZ3, which is the Super Metroid plus A Link to the Past randomizer going on this as Speed Gaming 2. And there's gonna be also basically right next after this is gonna be SSM2 going on for the next 3 hours. So again, thank you for the runners, and thank you for Professor Renderer for coming here and helping me out. First time I do commentary for A Link to the Past, so I'm still kind of new to a lot of the little tricks and little things. So don't forget to follow the runners. Don't forget to follow all 6 Speed Gaming channels for a lot more of this in the coming days. And thank you to the staff and everybody involved in this.
Yeah, thanks for the commentary. I bet you did a great job. I mean, yeah, the interview was at least. I bet everything was. Thanks again, Waterleau, GG, and good luck in your upcoming race later this evening, I think.
Yes. Thank you for the commentaries, the tracker, and also I saw 1,200 viewers in, so thank you to be there.
Yes, obviously, thank you to the viewers and everybody. And of course, keep feeding Fiesel some good old tacos. He loves them up. And good luck to both of you with your next match, which I believe is the last one in this group. So, thank you very much and enjoy the SM2 coming up soon.